Citizens, it's that time. You're officially in the Alert Zone. Welcome to the Alert Zone TV. I am the Wizard, Uncle James. Would love for you to become an active citizen. You already know what to do. If you're 18 years of age or older, practice your Second Amendment rights. And don't let nobody shame you for doing it. So I'm just going to get right into it today. Got my EDC with me. Clear for YouTube. Safe direction. I'm sitting outside the room. I got my Walter PK 380, Chamberlain 380. We're going to have a discussion about something that needs to be addressed. You may not like some of the things you're going to hear, but you need to hear them. You know, I cruise the YouTube streets, as they call them. I go on a lot of different gun channels, and I see a lot of people that, you know, they come for shooting, and that's fine. They come for gun reviews, and that's fine. But the amount of people that have no idea about what it means to own one of these and what this really means to protect yourself, it's staggering. As I tell you, this channel is dedicated not only to the people who've been around them. There's a lot of people who just get into self-defense, and you know, with YouTube and social media, a lot of them getting into collecting because it's a trend. They don't understand those of us that have been around firearms pretty much our whole life. We take this shit serious, straight up. We don't take our safety as a joke. We don't feel like I'm going here, so I'm okay. We are really on high alert. That's why I named the original channel High Alert TV, and you know, I was saying stay safe, stay on high alert. I wanted to talk about the Texas Rampage shooting yesterday. You guys gotta forgive me. It's early in the morning. Well, not early. Got my cup of coffee I went and got. Before I come out to do this, y'all excuse me here. You know, we freestyle here. We give it to you raw and uncut. You guys see the bloopers as they happen. But we're going to talk about this Texas mass shooting yesterday. Rampage shooting. And I'm going to come at it from a place that you guys may not understand why, but listen to me and listen to me well. About how we've arrived here. For those of you who don't know, when they used to say don't mess with Texas, Texas used to be known as a place where everybody know you didn't fuck around, because everybody was strapped and everybody was ready when it went down. You look at the old Western days and your movies and all that, the old Texas history, even in the modern times. Don't mess with Texas was about, we love the Second Amendment and we will put you down, criminals. Texas has been invaded by a lot of liberal people. A lot of people that's fleeing from one thing or coming to Texas to take advantage of the economic opportunities, and they bring in that foolishness with them. But there's something else about these Rampage shootings that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how mass media has created a false sense of security in this country, and how that false sense of security is costing lives. You know, yesterday I shot the videos checking my, sorry about that, the local wildlife is up. I shot the video about checking my home defense weapons, and I did the 38 Super shooting yesterday because I wasn't able to do it Friday. Something happened to me that happened to me several times, and I've never said nothing about it. I think maybe once I've addressed it on another program, but I'm going to address it right here. For those of you who saw the videos from yesterday, if you pay attention, you can hear shooting when I'm talking. There was a couple other guys out there shooting. They lived in the area, and they had their night scope. Was out, checking their night scope, making sure everything was good, because they coyote hunt at night because they own the farm. And when I pulled up in there, actually the place is called Timmons Grove. It's right outside of Albion, Iowa. It's in between Marshalltown and Albion, but it's in Marshall County. And it's kind of like a circle when you pull up in there. It's like a circle driveway there. And it's off the highway. So you've seen the last several videos I've done of me actually shooting. You can hear the cars in the background. Well, the reason I picked to go there and do some of the videos is it's the closest place to my house that is easy access. I have public hunt land that's closer, but the way it's set up, I gotta go all the way in the back to do that. So this place is just more convenient. And no sooner than I turn and park in there, get in there and park, I hadn't even turned the truck off, a car comes in. And it sits there and it's staring at me. And it starts to drive towards me. Then he goes in a circle and then he stops. He backs up and he looks at me. Well, I keep my EDC on me. And I was just wondering, what does he want? But I had already experienced this at that place several times before, so I kind of understood why he did what he did. He looked and he left. 3-4 minutes later, another car shows up. Well, by this time, I had actually got out of my truck. And I'm getting set up so I can start, my video. And they pull up and go around. And this guy comes towards me. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And, I'm kind of throwing my hands up like, can I help you? So the other guy comes over there, and he's got his AR in his hand. And he asks, well, what do you need? You coming over here to shoot or what? No, I was just make sure things was okay. He leaves. Those guys shoot their guns. I start shooting mine and doing my videos. And another car pulls up. And this guy goes up to them and asks them what they want. Well, they see both of them is AR in one hand and the other guy has his Canon SF. And they leave and they tell me, the whole time we've been out here, nobody has pulled in here. And I told them, well, it's not my first time going through this. The very first time I went out to Timmons Grove to hunt, I was passing this woman, and she was going the opposite way. I'm dressed in full camouflage, and I turned in. She must have did a U-turn, because by the time I parked my car and got out, she was already pulling up behind me. And she was staring at me, and, well, I grabbed my shotgun and I pumped it, because I don't know this lady's intentions, and she leaves. Well, that was the first encounter I had out in the public, as far as like the wild, the forest, public hunting land, or what have you. And it started happening to me more and more. A couple times I went fishing, and the game warden, I watched him pass everybody up and come to me. I didn't make a big deal, because I told y'all, I always keep proper identification with me, just to keep the confusion down, because I'm not out here looking for trouble. And sometimes you got to be proactive, not reactive, because reactive can cost you your life or your freedom. So, Unc, why are you telling us all this? What does this have to do with this mass shooting yesterday? We in this country have been conditioned. The only criminal class here is this. All of us, even people who wear this uniform, have been conditioned. When you pay attention to these rampage shootings, I always tell you, these guys and girls are cowards. They're cowards. And they look for soft targets. Suburban people don't think that this can happen to them. They feel like we're in a all-white cavern where there's money. This don't happen out here. This won't never happen out here. Nobody's immune to this. Nobody is immune to what happened in that mall yesterday happened. I want to send my condolences to the victims and the families of the victims and everybody that was out there because this is a traumatic experience. Understand, over 1 million firearms in the state of Texas are registered. It is almost un-Texan like to not practice your Second Amendment. And yet there's people who will watch mass media, and mass media tells you Chicago, which I already told you guys is code word for black. Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, Houston, LA, those are euphemisms for the word black. Thug. Let me just go ahead and say it. Thug is the new nigga. When they say the word thug, you already know who they're talking about. This country, we as American citizens have gotten into a false sense of security. We feel like if this ain't around, we're okay. When you look at the news, when it's this against this, they make it black on black. The Pulse nightclub shooting down in Florida, that was an LGBT guy that pulled that off. But they don't say LGBT against LGBT crime. The mass shooting in Texas last week down there in San Jacinto County, that was a Hispanic dude killed a bunch of Hispanic people. They don't say Hispanic on Hispanic violence. Out there in California, there's already been a couple incidents where there was 4 or 5 people killed, including a baby. That was all Hispanic by a Hispanic dude and chick. They didn't call that. In Oklahoma, they didn't even want to talk about that was a mass shooting. I told you guys the number one cause of mass shootings or mass killings in this country is murder-suicides. In flyover country by white folks rule most of the time who know each other. That's not what the media tells you, but that's the numbers back that up. And this might be an uncomfortable conversation I'm having with people. And I'm not blaming the victims yesterday, but what I am telling you is we've been lured into a false sense of security. I want you to take something in consideration. I live in a town that's less than 1% black. According to the census, this town is 85% white. And yet there's armed security walking around at the grocery store. You know why? They get it. They understand. Hell, this is showing up everywhere. On the old channel, I talked about Inland Empire out there in California and how they had 2 groups of home invaders. They was teams going around breaking in everybody's houses as a team. They was organized. And all the people was saying, well, we moved out here to get away from all that. There's no such thing as a safe haven. The Asians, when that Asian guy for New Year's went and killed all them people at that dance studio, they didn't call that Asian on Asian crime. Out there in the Bay Area and all that, you got them Asian gangs running around, showing guns and shooting at each other. They have all kinds of names for each other. They don't call that Asian on Asian crime. We have all been conditioned that this is the only group that basically self-destruct. According to the FBI numbers, every racial group in this country is 85%, at least an 85% chance somebody in your group will be the person that brings harm to you. The chances of getting harmed by outsider is slim. You know, I grew up in New Orleans, and we have a paper called The Times-Picayune. And I asked the editor one day, I was in 8th grade, I'll never forget it, about how they construct a newspaper. And he said, you want me to tell you something? He said, you know why on the front page of the news we lead it off with the city's latest murder when it happens in a black area? I said, why? He said, y'all the only group that'll go out and buy all the newspapers. He said, if something happens in this area and you can't find the newspaper in this area because it's sold out, you'll go to another part of town to get the newspaper to read about that. said everybody else see that as a shameful thing. That's why we plaster y'all on the front page and we plaster y'all all over the news. We can't sustain the news constantly showing what we do here because our people ain't gonna watch it. I've been in Iowa for 13 years, and that holds true. When these heinous acts happen here, it's got to be something like a public display in order for it to lead the news. Now that Des Moines' demographic is changing, the narrative starting to change. Now you're starting to see that's breaking news now. Why are you telling us all this? This is what I'm telling you, man. Here in the alert zone, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high. High alert means that. For those, my LA people, for the people who've been out to California before, there's nobody in Beverly Hills that ever thought that they would be sitting on the sidewalk having dinner and groups of criminals will walk up and rob everybody out there. They never thought that would happen in a million years, but it's happening. GunTube media here is more than just popping these. There's more to owning this than just walking around bragging, showing it, and popping in the air and all that craziness. I keep telling you guys, there's all kinds of niches for this. I understand this is the less popular because most people that come to see this only come to see firearms and foolishness. I look at a lot of different things, and I'm not upset about that. I'm pointing something out. There's a lot of people since I started doing this last year that's hit me in the comment section and told me they had never thought about the things I talk about, and that they had never experienced a lot of the things that I talk about, and they didn't even think that happened until I started bringing things and they started researching. And shout out to all those people. For those of us who get it, we have a chance. For those of us who don't get it, I mean, this happened in Texas. I want you guys to understand something again. Texas. If you've never traveled this country before 2010, you won't understand what "don't mess with Texas" means. Because it ain't now what it used to be. "Don't mess with Texas" used to strike fear in people's hearts. "Don't mess with Texas" is just a slogan now that don't have no teeth behind it. Yesterday, I got to see some of the video of how this guy was casually just shooting, and I couldn't understand for the life of me how in Texas that many people out there, not nobody had a firearm. He started this in a parking lot. He didn't walk in the store. There's people out in the parking lot. To the victims or the family of the victims, or if this haven't happened where you live, I want you to understand that again. I live in a small town, and there's armed guards in the grocery stores, and we don't exist here. Can't blame it on us. The media has taught y'all everything wrong with this country is this, and it's not. It's just like I talk to the women, and I tell the women on this channel and on the old channel, they telling you to watch the men, and it's the women that's sneaking up on y'all. See, the reason somebody close to you is more dangerous to somebody that's not, because people that's strangers, you're going to always keep them at arm's length. People that's not strangers or people from different groups, you feel relaxed around them, and that's how it happens. Nobody goes out of this, in this country, gets up and goes outside thinking that they're going to die. But you're beyond stupid if you think that this can't happen where you live. You're beyond stupid if you think this can't happen. It can happen to any of us at any time. Second Amendment media is important. That's why I do this. I understand I got a low view count. I know, I mean, I got 486 subscribers. The views are low. I understand how all this works because people subscribe don't mean they gonna watch. This is a message. It's gonna take a long time for it to start resonating with a lot of people. Listen to Uncle. Listen to what I'm telling you. In this country, nobody is immune. Nobody is immune. Law enforcement ain't immune. Used to be. They're not now. Old people used to be immune. They not now. That guy killed a kid yesterday. Kids are not immune anymore. Women are not. Women, you've lost that woman card. You're not immune anymore. I watched it when that guy pulled up and just casually got out of his car and started shooting. I seen one lady do like that and stand there. Her instinct, she was shell shocked, wasn't even to take off running. I watched that woman fall on that video. It's right there where that tree is at, and that's that little corner. It's probably where he got the most people because he cornered them. There's a lot of people that wish they would have had this yesterday. I can guarantee you in that parking lot, there was people in that parking lot that had this. And they left. Or they froze. Or what have you. I know he had on body armor, but guess what? In a situation like this, a headshot from this could have put him down. Leg shots, foot shots, whatever. Hell, even just engaging him and deterring him. This was better than nothing. And because we are naive in this country, because mass media has conditioned us, it's going to cost more lives. Not because people going to go out on the rampage shootings, but because they know people are going to be naive and believe that it can't happen here. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Until next time, stay safe, stay on, stay on high alert. Listen to you, because I ain't spitting nothing but facts.